Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
This week we are talking beginner bikes and what we think is best.
Plus in hot tech we have a mechanical rear derailleur, which is amazing. We have some carbon fibre Dura-Ace cranks. We have a crazy fast track bike. We have a new road bike. We have some new wheels and a water bottle trying to help reduce trash on the trails.
Let's do it.
Right. Oh, we've got comments of the week and the bike vault as well.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget.
Okay, a few weeks back, Alex and Ollie built the most ridiculously expensive entry-level bike. I had a lot of fun watching it, but I think today we're bringing things a bit more closer to home and talking about what is potentially the best beginner bike to aim for, the best kind of bike you can get on a budget if you're just starting out in the sport.
Well, this is super easy, Connor. It's going to be a real quick show this week. The best beginner bike you can get is the one you like, the one you can afford. Job done. End of show. We can all go home, shall we?
No. Come on. I know that's true. That is true. But I think we need to kind of go into more specifics here for people, because I think this is like a really important choice that you make if you're thinking about getting into cycling. I do think if you get this one wrong, it can be a real kind of put off. Is that the word? It can like be a negative experience early on.
I think that makes total sense. Yeah, you know, I couldn't resist talking about the details. So, firstly, I'll get this thing out of the way to start with. I guess we should make a joke about having Dura-Ace cranks on the entry-level bike, but no, we shouldn't. No need for that at all. Thanks for laughing anyway. It means a lot to me. Right. So if I've got to like think if I'm starting out cycling, which is hard because I've obviously been doing cycling for a long time, but where would I start and what advice would I give to people doing, like, starting out? And for me, the first place I would start at would be, hands down, an aluminium frame. Don't consider getting anything carbon. Honestly, you don't need it. Aluminium, cheapish, lightweight, pretty robust. It's going to get the job done. What I would do, though, is try to see if I can get an aluminium frame with a carbon fork and carbon seat post, because I genuinely think they help a little bit with comfort.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really be too fussed about what group set to buy. I'd think as long as it's like functional, it's clean, tidy, it looks like it does the job, I think that's what's going to be fine. If you're going to go talking about real basic stuff, I would just make sure you have dual control levers. Depends how far back and how old your bike is, but I'd avoid downtube shifters for beginners.
That's funny, because I was going to say downtube shifters.
You get downtube shifters?
My first bike, I had downtube shifters. So
yeah, but okay, if I was your first bike, but would you advise that for someone starting out?
I wouldn't advise against it.
Okay.
Because I think it teaches you how and when to change gear a bit more, because it's a really conscious choice to change gear, and you have to know you're getting into the right gear.
Yeah.
It's obviously a harder thing, I admit, to think of, because you have to take hands off the bars a lot more and reach down.
Yeah.
So in that respect, actually, it could be a little bit trickier.
Yeah.
But still, I think if I was listing like my kind of details for what the best beginner
where
bike
would you
is,
go? Yeah.
very similar to what you said, actually. Alloy frame for sure. Rim brakes, external cables.
Yeah, of course.
Secondhand. I'd go secondhand.
You see, I'm 50-50 on the whole secondhand new conundrum, because part of me wants to say, look, the simplest thing, if you get a bike new, you've got that peace of mind and security. It's going to be basically fine within reason. Of course, things could still go wrong on it. But if you are buying new and you maybe buy from your local bike shop, you really not only... Yes, it's going to cost you a bit more, but not only are you getting the bike, you're also going to get all the knowledge, help and support along the way with it. And I think that's really, really valuable.
Yeah.
But secondhand, you're going to get a lot more bike for your money.
I see that too. And I think if you're totally new to sport, going secondhand can be quite overwhelming if you don't have someone who can potentially advise you on what might be best. But also at the same time, like, look for shops that sell second-hand bikes, because there are shops out there. There's a really good one here next to GCN HQ. It's sadly closing down, but they have some great, like, really cheap entry-level bikes that they've refurbished, like, made up to be.
And it's like a charity the way it works as well, which is good. Yeah. Which actually, that's a good point, because we've not only bought bikes from there in the past, we've also then donated them back, so then they can sell them again.
Yeah, Julian Bike Workshop, shout out.
Are there any other little details you would think of? I know you mentioned briefly rim brake, disc brake, but I think if you're starting out and you don't want to spend much money, you're really probably going to be in the realms of rim brakes.
I'd go rim brakes, I think, because all the details that I'm mentioning, they're easier to maintain, I think, and they're easier for someone who's learning how to, like, fix bits on their bikes, replace parts. It's all like as simple as possible.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is really important for your first bike.
Yeah.
Because once you start going down the realms of like internal cabling and
it starts to get more complicated.
Yeah, it does get more complicated.
Okay, so help me out here, right? Imagine that you're going to look at your first bike and you've got the knowledge that you have now. You want to share this with everybody. What are the first sort of bits you would say to check and make sure you're happy with?
Okay, so if it was me and I was buying this for a friend, family member, I'd be looking at the price and how much they're like looking for the bike, and then I'd be trying to weigh up if the bike was actually worth that price straight away.
Okay,
and I'm looking at things like if it's been crashed, if there's like marks on it that show that it's had a proper get down. You can kind of tell as well from the general condition of a bike, like.
Is it all covered in scuffs and scratches? Or is it even clean, to be honest?
Well, that's it. And that doesn't like necessarily matter because you can clean a bike down. You can replace certain bits for not too much and get it in good order.
Yeah.
But I think if you're looking at a bike and it's absolutely filthy and it looks like it's had a good bit of use.
It's had a hard life.
And no one's like quite maintained it to the point where it's not been like displayed well for you when you've gone to see a second-hand bike. That for me is a bit of a red flag as to this bike hasn't quite been taken care of in the same way as someone who's like presented a really nice second-hand bike, they've cleaned it down, it's looking good. But at the same time, there's a flip side to that where it works the other way, where you also have to have that red flag of this bike is way too clean.
It's too good for the price.
For the sort of abuse that it looks like it's had.
It is actually really tricky because as much as I don't like talking about or thinking about it, stolen bikes are a thing. And if you're buying second-hand, you do need to like watch out for this stuff.
I think most people with decent common sense know if they're buying a stolen bike. I think it's obvious. There's enough flat. I mean, saying that, I'm saying that from someone who knows bikes.
Yeah.
And if you're speaking to someone
it's hard to know,
that doesn't match up. Yeah, it's true. Because
again, it's that security thing, isn't it? If you go to a bike shop, you know what you get in. There's a fixed place. It's a business. They've got a reputation. You're buying something, and it's going to cost you a bit more. But
you can check the story out, though. You can ask why you got the bike, where have you ridden with it, like what did you think of it, and you can get people talking. And it's quite. I think you can kind of tell. Because normally someone wants to talk about their bike and they're like, oh yeah, I got this, I took it like once I went to the Alps or whatever and it was like amazing, I did this trip, I did this ride. You do get people talking about their bikes and if someone isn't talking about it and they've got no backstory whatsoever or reason why they're selling the bike, it's not necessarily like, it's alarm bells.
So I think we're pretty much agreed. The best beginner bike, forget about brands because there's lots of different options. They all kind of do similar things at some point in time. Aluminium frame. I think I'm going to say rim brakes for a beginner. Like super simple components that are low cost to replace if you have to, but also easy to work on and maintain.
Yeah.
What actually was your first road bike?
So my first road bike, I think it was like mine because I borrowed one for a bit.
Yeah.
That was an alloy frame that I had down tube shifters actually. Loved that bike. Then my first road bike I properly used was a Trek 1200, I think it was. Alloy frame steel, carbon forks though. I grew out of that pretty quick. That was my problem. I grew out of all my bikes. I started getting into like road cycling in quite a big way around the age of 14, I'd say. And from 14 to 18, I was like just growing and growing. Yeah. So I got through 3 alloy bikes, all like bigger sizes. And I went to the Trek. Then I ended up on a Cannondale CAD. I'm not sure what model it was. It's still in my dad's garage. But that was like a really big size. That's why I had that size. Yeah.
My first proper road bike was, I was a kid. I must have been 12, 13 maybe. And I was just telling you about this earlier. It was a brand called Paul Milnes. I think it's a British brand, I think. And it was blue, little yellow details, had a little yellow outer cable as well. I thought I was so cool with it. Shimano Dura-Ace, I think it was. And I was telling you this story earlier. I was genuinely devastated as a kid because I went and did a local bike race and all the other kids just assumed I was called Paul because that was what was written on my bike. And I was like... I was traumatised from it. It's like, no, I'm not called Paul. And everyone's like, oh, there's Paul. And I'm like, can anyone stop calling me Paul? But I've had a few other bikes. It's interesting that you say that Trek was one of your first bikes because that was what my local bike shop sold when I was a kid. So I'd go in there and like you'd idolise those bikes when you look up on the shelves and stuff. So
yeah, I was proud of that bike as a first.
We should hear from everybody else though, shouldn't we?
Yeah, for sure.
Please do get involved in the comment section down below. Let us know what your first road bike was, but also what kind of road bike or features you look for if you were trying to share your advice with other people.
Yeah, 100%. So I do think actually one point we've missed, because when we were getting into cycling, gravel bikes just weren't a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's another thing to consider now.
Yeah.
Is do you go for something that's more well-rounded, can take on slightly different disciplines, like a gravel bike?
Are you going to sort of force me to mention the Canyon Dura-Ace AL all-road again? I did it.
Yeah, that's another point, because now there's more like all-road bikes, clearance up to 40mm tyres.
Yeah.
Which is another thing to consider too, like going for something that can accommodate wide
Yeah,
tyres.
it makes the bike more versatile and perhaps might have a longer life of use for you.
And you can feel a bit more comfortable handling.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to get used to than like a 23mm tyre.
Skinny tyre. That's a really good point. I like that. Good points to raise there. Thanks, mate.
But yeah, get involved in the comment section down below, and we're looking forward to hearing from you all.
Okay, right, it's now time for Hot and Spicy Tech.
Hot and Spicy
We
Tech.
need to kick things off with an apology. There was an error in last week's tech show.
Play the violin music.
Play the violin music. So, it would appear that whilst talking about the new Villia Falante SLR last week, we might have shown pictures of the old bike.
Sorry.
Very
big sorry.
But like most politicians, we're going to dodge the blame and pass it to somebody else.
It wasn't our fault. It wasn't us.
Sid, it was you. Sid, you've let the GCN community down, you've let us down, but most importantly of all, you have let yourself down. So for total clarity, here is a picture of the latest bike. Do you think that's okay? Do you think Sid will hate us?
I mean, he's editing this, so he's got full capacity to do us dirty now if he wants to. Any sort of bloopers or past misdemeanors whilst filming can be shown to the general public.
Oh. Turns out we don't actually know anything about what we're talking about.
Yeah, but we figured it out now.
Coming out of it.
Yeah.
Tyrrell didn't know is really that. Well, I mean, there's only one way it'll go in, luckily.
Put.
I feel we can just make it up as we go.
Jenno Berkmoes. Jenno Berkmoes. I gotta say it like a Belgian. Jenno Berkmoes. Jenno Berkmoes. And Jenno Berkmoes. But anyway,
right.
Sorry, Sid. Sorry, Mina. The new bike is there.
Moving on anyway. So this insane rear derailleur that I've seen, it's from a company called Vivo and it's called the Enduro 2. I'm just going to click on the link because I want to open it and look at the beauty of this thing.
I absolutely love this.
Oh,
I love stuff that's just looks a bit too over-engineered.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I just absolutely fall for that hook, line, and
It's
sinker.
really, really nice, isn't it? So this is, well, it's actually a mountain bike mechanical rear derailleur. We don't normally allow mountain bike stuff on the channel, but when it looks like this, we can make exceptions. So $370 gets you this beautifully machined CNC machined aluminium construction. We've got sealed cartridge bearings on there. We've got like titanium link pins and stuff like that. It's just like exquisitely made is the only way I can describe it. I mean, when everyone sees a picture of it, they'll understand.
I have to get this up as well and have another look. It's probably brilliant.
What I found particularly interesting is they're made to order.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's a super niche product, so you don't want those sat on the shelves forever, are you?
Yeah, it's fully rebuildable as well. That's what I really like, how you can kind of service it yourself and hopefully make it last for an absolute age.
Well, it should last you blooming forever, that thing.
But yeah, that is beautiful.
Okay, we both appreciate that. Moving on, anyway.
Yeah.
You actually sent me the link to this a couple of days ago, didn't you? We were talking about it.
Yeah, we spotted this on eBay.
I've seen it doing the rounds on social media as well.
Yeah,
actually.
a few other people have spotted it. It's a Dura-Ace carbon crankset. And I saw it, I was like, right, this is straight up Alex's street. In fact, I was like, maybe Alex is the seller.
No.
Maybe he's selling it from his parts bin.
I can tell you right now, with absolutely no doubt whatsoever, that if I owned this, I would not be selling it. Like, there's just no possible way I would sell it. In fact, in my head, I'm thinking, what could I possibly do to see if I could buy this? But I cannot in any way justify spending that money.
Yeah, I mean, bidding's getting a little bit out of control.
£1,421.84 right now.
So what's that in US dollars?
You do our currency conversions. I'll tell everyone a little bit about the cranks. So
$1,800.
that's mad. It's actually the FC 7800C Dura-Ace crank, and it fits in that super niche, strange little time where it seems that Shimano made carbon fibre cranks.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know this was a thing. 5239, 172.5mm crank arms, and includes the installation tool because it has a slightly different end cap on it.
Okay.
It says it's got the box, all the certification, and it's been used for approximately 500 kilometres and then stored. Honestly, this is mad.
All the official documentation too, so it's like, apart from those 500k, it's pretty box fresh.
There's something about it. I just wish I could have it.
How much left is there on the bidding? I think this is going to go higher, people.
What is left on it? I can't see the details when it ends.
Oh no, it's on a buy it now.
It's buy it now.
It's buy it now.
I thought it was bidding to start with because it had gone up.
You can change it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So for $1,800.
Free postage, though. Okay. Talking of cranks, actually, Canyon have just added the option to their My Canyon platform where you can now select your crank length. Now, previously this wasn't available, whereas now it is. And you can choose between 160 and 175mm crank arms for Shimano and SRAM cranks. Just adds another level of customization to that platform.
Yeah, good shout that,
I
actually.
like it.
And on the topic of Canyon,
yes,
we feel a little bit naughty saying this, but a new Canyon has potentially been spotted in the wild.
Yeah, so Matthew van der Poel has been seen riding, a Canyon, just we have no idea what bike it is.
Absolutely no idea, but it's there in plain sight. There's wheelies, he's dropping watt bombs in the gutter on it. You can kind of tell a little bit. If you zoom in, there's some details there.
There's some little different area features. The junctions of the stays and stuff look a bit different. No idea what it is, but you can only presume this is one of those on purpose accidental leaks.
Yeah,
I don't know. We're speculating.
We are fully speculating, but it is nice. I love these little spy shots to get leaks.
Yeah, I love it.
Speculate on them. But that was courtesy of Freddie Yvette on his Instagram.
Yeah, new track bike to talk about from Colnago, actually.
Yeah.
So this is the T1 RS, and it's basically combining two sort of different bikes and the ethos of them. You've got the TT1 time trial bike and the Y1 RS Aero road bike. And they say this track bike has been developed and pushed to the extreme. Have you seen pictures of it?
I have, yes.
It looks mad, doesn't it?
I tell you what, I love the Y1 RS and I love this one as well. I just like the fact that it's out there. It's bold. It's slightly brash.
Captain Gubbins likes the crazy track bike that's designed for 60k an hour with no capacity to carry any spares.
There's nothing wrong with liking Gubbins and also liking crazy aero bikes.
Okay, so you've got a couple of different options for this bike. You can get it in a sort of bunch or endurance setup, so you can put drop bars on it, or the Pursuit time trial setup with aero bars. Not that people are going to be trying to put big chunky tyres on it, clearance for 28s, and you can fit a 72-tooth chainring on it. What I did find interesting, 2 points that I want to talk about. We've seen different brands trying to have a textured or ribbed surface on the outer edge of the frames for aerodynamics. But Colnago say what they've done is used a textured and ribbed surface on the inside of the frame as added structural reinforcement to deal with the crazy power that track sprinters put through the frame.
Wow.
And unlike some of the other track frames that we've seen, which have been priced at 100,000 million pounds, this one seems relatively affordable. £6,280 on the Colnago website.
Yeah, cheap as chips.
Presumably because there's rumours of the UCI implementing a price cap on some of the bikes, although no one actually knows what that is yet, I don't think. So, yeah.
What I found really interesting about this bike is that it's been optimised, as you said, for high speed. So I read on their details that they say it's optimised for higher speeds and it's faster at 70 kilometres an hour than it is at 50 kilometres an hour. That's what they reckon.
I'm trying to get. Well,
it's
yeah. If
basically-
you go 70k an hour, you're going faster than 50.
No,
aren't
but
you?
they say 70k an hour, there's less like, it's designed so it disturbs the air less or something like this.
Okay. So I've got the aerodynamic drag of the
drag,
bike
that's
at
it.
70k an hour is less than at 50k an hour.
Yeah.
Not it goes faster at 70 than 50.
Well, it does go faster. No, the drag's less.
Yeah.
Which is pretty kind of mad.
That is mad.
Anyway, it's
I
cool
like
to see
it.
Colnago back in track bikes
Yeah.
because they have some huge history and heritage there too. So
Taking things back down in terms of pricing here, I want to talk about this dual fuel bottle. So this is a product I think we spoke about on the Tech Show quite a while ago. It's actually a friend of mine has invented this water bottle. It's not specifically about this because what we're talking about is that the dual fuel bottle have teamed up with Trash Free Trails to try and help combat rubbish on trails and out on the bikes. And 25% of the sales from some of these bottles are going to help fund that charity programme.
oh, that's cool.
Now, if you've not heard of the dual fuel bottle, it's got like a little internal pouch where you can put gel inside. Then you can fill up your water bottle with your normal liquid, and it's got a little lever on the top, so you can choose whether you get gel or water when you have a drink.
Yeah, it's great that. I think it's a great. My difficulty with gels when I'm riding now is just the wrappers when you're getting them back in your pocket. That's why sometimes I wouldn't use them, because when you're filming, you have so much filming gubbins in your pocket, so I don't want to get them all sticky.
Too much rubbish gubbins.
Yes.
Well, that's the whole point of this thing. It's trying to combat that.
Yep.
I'll put you down as a couple of orders, shall I?
Yeah, I love that. Thanks. Thank you.
New wheels to talk about now. These are from Industry 9, a brand that I'm familiar with for their like mountain bike products. But they've got their Solix road hubs, and they've launched 3 different wheel sets. Different carbon fibre rim depths, essentially, difference here. Hubs are the same. You've got a 35mm version, a 50mm version, and a 65mm. Shall I tell you the weights of the wheel sets?
Yeah, let's hear them.
Okay, so going lightest to heaviest, which is going shallowest to deepest rim, 1,310 grams, 1,410 grams, and 1,450 grams. All of the rims 22mm internal hooked.
Nice.
Loads of different colours to choose from, actually, which is blooming cool.
Yeah, sweet.
And then finally in hot tech, we have this new road bike, but it's actually an e-road bike.
Yeah, this
Talk us through it.
is cool. It's called the Scott Fast Lane.
Yeah.
So just out. It's like a lightweight road bike, lightweight e-road bike, where kind of like everything is designed to look as if it's not an electric bike.
It blows my mind. At first glance, I didn't even think it was.
You would not notice it. So the motor's like down right in the bottom bracket area. There's no display on the bars, so that's kind of, you can see some sort of like information that's on the bar ends. There's like an LED sort of display for battery life and stuff. But it's got ANT Plus connectivity, so you can connect it to your head unit and get details there if you want them.
That makes a lot of sense, right? So I've got a little bit of the marketing blurb to say here, because I wanted to read this out. So the Scott's, what do we say this is called? The Fast Lane. It says it's built to take you further and turn mountain passes into gentle hills. I'm all for that. What I did think was interesting, though, is, like you say, this is using the lightweight e-bike motor system. It's from TQ. It's the HPR40. And this is the system which lots of different brands are really starting to utilise to make these lightweight e-road bikes. And it feels like at the moment, this is basically the lightest battery and motor system around. And the battle and competition between everyone is to build the lightest road bike around this system. Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Because the frame for this bike's 865 grams.
Which is mad light. Obviously without the motor and battery.
Yeah, but still, with the battery in there, it's not going to be too heavy. UDH clearance for 34mm tyres.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm all for it. Can I just say that my favourite colour out of all the options, I think it's like a chrome silver. It looks absolutely boss.
Yeah, that's
there you
go.
Right, more hot tech next week, shall we?
Yep. Comments of the week.
Oh, that was a nice little jingle. Do you want to do that again for us?
Comments of the week.
Sid's probably going to play that 100 times now.
Yeah, sorry.
Sid.
Sorry, Sid, once more. Comments.
Comments of the week. Comments of the week.
Right, from the show last week. Do you want to read the first one out?
Yeah, this was sent in. Thank you for the comment by Abimawa1. Team switch components, sponsorship dollars, plain and simple.
Do you know what? I disagree. It's not just as plain and simple as that. I picked this out because I feel strongly about this.
Really?
We're at the stage now where some teams in cycling, not all, have enough money and resource to choose the components that they want to just choose because they can just buy it. Like, it's not purely down to sponsorship and like brands paying for it. Like, the big teams can buy whatever they want, and some of them are buying it because they just want to use whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, Ken Horn 31878 says, so Alex's Dura-Ace spare parts box was overflowing and Si took the time and effort to make him another box. Way to go, Si. Yes, he did.
Blues are cool. So what can really improve safety are airbags. They do exist. Check the motorcycle ones. They're light and they have sensors, so no cables attached to the bike. Of course, in case of a group crash, the result would be hilarious.
Could you imagine a massive crash in the peloton? Not in the way to cause any harm, but like 30 people crashing and just airbags going everywhere.
Yeah, that'd be a bit nuts. I don't think an airbag on a bike could really do much. I think you just bounce off it and still hit the floor.
Yeah,
I think on a motorbike you're kind of attaching. You're like, I think you're more held onto the bike. But
have you ever tried one of those airbag bags that have it all built into it?
I haven't tried that. I think that's what I was going to say. Something on your like body or your helmet. Like that's, I think, where it's not there yet. But I think where it could go if that was the way. But all the big crashes I've had on a bike, I haven't ended up on my bike. I've like bike's gone one way and I've gone the other way.
Yeah. I tried one of those inflatable backpack ones, and when it goes off, it's mad in your ears.
Yeah.
So underneath Ollie's video at the weekend, all about bearings and how to look after them as best. So man with no name, 6580, okay, brilliant, says, please explain to simpletons like me what preload is. Okay, I'll do it now in the simplest possible way. Preload is a force which you put on the outside of the bearings opposite to the way that they're rotating to remove any little bit of free play in the system. So the easiest example is the cranks in the bottom bracket. With no preload, the crank will just slide left and right within the bottom bracket. Preload, take out the slack and just apply a tiny little bit of load onto the sides.
And you back it off, don't you?
Yeah, it's just like take all the slack out of the system. There you go.
Peter Perfect said, bottom bracket cartridges are not designed to be disassembled, nor is there any cost advantage in doing so, since all the parts will need to be replaced anyway. If they are worn, replace the entire cartridge. Note the thread is fine, you can cross-thread easily, don't force it.
I disagree. I think some of these things, you can look after components. Yes, it's not the easiest thing to just take it apart and clean it all, but if you want to make stuff last a long time, you can. So not everything has to be like throw away. And also, I picked out Jimmy Hibbs' one comment. They said, drinking game with the word balls, because they said it a lot in that video. Don't laugh. Why are you laughing? So, what word was it?
Balls.
Good. Right.
Can we get an edit of the balls?
Onto the bike vault now. Bike vault is my favourite part of the show. This is where you upload pictures of your bikes using the link in the description down below, and then we will judge them to be nice or super nice. If they're super nice, the bell gets rung.
You know it. Right, starting off with this one from Robert Tell. This is a winter commuter. My trusty commuter for 15 years. Fair one. Yes, that is a disc fork on a rim brake bike. Love it.
Oh yeah, disc front.
Yeah, I'm just seeing that now. I love that. I love it. That is a super nice from me. 15 years. It is perfectly designed for the purpose. It's got like nice customization with the disc fork. Rear pannier. It's got a flap on the mudguards.
Like that.
Yeah, straight in there.
Yeah, okay. Don't want to argue on that. Max Buckley, 24, with a Genesis Quad-Fur.
This is nice as well.
Or if you're not familiar with the name Quad-Fur, it's Creeks de Fur.
GRX 12-speed, 1x DC Swiss wheel set. It has got a Brooks saddle, which is a nice and comfy one. Full-length mudguards as well. We are in mudguard season. And we're rocking it. This is super nice from me. Beautiful little spot there in the woods as well.
Do you know what? I mean, I do really like this bike. The little bits I'm liking the most are the tiny little pinky purpley accents on the logo and the valves. Got a lot of time for that.
Yeah, nice.
Super nice?
Yeah, super nice one. This is from White Rider. So a recently acquired and built 1986 Tomasini Super Prestige, built up with 9-speed Campagnolo chorus group set, upgraded from Mirage, Mavic Axiom wheel set with cream wall Continental GP5000s. And a Sella Italia, it's a team edition saddle. Which is in original
This is
condition.
nice.
Yeah,
Got some
right,
absolute
beautiful.
belters of bikes this week.
Steel is real.
One thing I would like to pick up here,
Yeah.
very fussy I think, but the Campagnolo levers look like they need to be pulled in and have the little button pushed across the side because they're poking out a bit far. You know, it's used so you can normally then release the brake open a bit further.
Yeah.
I think that needs to be done. But
That is picking hairs. that is picking hairs.
okay, what are you thinking then?
I think we give this a super. I like the modern day Tamwell tyres on the retro.
Oh yeah, super nice. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Maxwell.
Max Buchanan.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks. They say Scott Addict RC UCI legal 6 kilogram. Custom built envy wheels, carbon cranks, carbon tie chain rings, aluminium bar and stem, and AliExpress carbon saddle. I like the look of this.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, that's good, that.
This AliExpress saddle we saw so much of at the Hill Club Jabs. Everyone had this AliExpress saddle, so everyone's seen this saddle somehow, and it's just like it's populated everywhere.
That's crazy. I like that. I'm all for it.
That is a nice build, isn't it? I like the cranks on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice cranks. 6 kilos for that is doing well as well.
I like the fact that they've gone like for a total mashup of brands and like where they're from.
Yeah,
We've got like Scott frame, Envy wheels, AliExpress saddle. Like it's full mashup.
I like the like. I tell you what I really like is the crank colour matching up with the frame colour at the front. I have something about like a silver chrome or like polished cranks. Yeah.
What about if you did them coloured to match the colour of the frame? Would you still feel the same?
I don't know. No, I think I like that kind of machined silver.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah. But
tell you what, all those 5-dev cranks you did for that crank length video, they blooming look cool with those things.
They looked cool, didn't they? Yeah.
What were we saying to this bike
that's
then?
another size, super nice that.
You want a super nice
it
one?
through,
Here you go. Thomas Rowland with Look Cup Steel in South France. I want to show you one of my beautiful bicycles my father finds for cheap change and then brings them back to glory. This is with Deal XT. It's finally climbing after many years in a dusty garage. Hope you'll appreciate the carbon handlebars, 1.9-inch tyres on 17mm rims. I like this.
Beautiful.
I like they've timed it with the cable car in the middle of the background.
I'm trying to work out where that is with the cable car in the south of France.
No idea.
I was about to say it looks like Nice, and then I saw the cable car, and it's not Nice. But yeah, I'll do a bit of digging after this show's over.
Okay, what are we saying?
I think that is a bit shaded. We've got a bit of shade on the bike. I think
And it's a mountain bike.
We could have made that pop.
It's in the wrong gear.
It also is a mountain bike, slightly in the wrong gear. But still, I think it's a brilliant find in these bikes. I tell you what as well, I love finding these finds that are super cheap, but I'd love to do it in another country and see what you find.
Yeah,
because you always find there's different styles of bikes. Brands. It does change a bit. But I think we're on such a roll. I think we can supernize this.
Go on. So, yeah. L. Chris with a titanium gravel bike. Super nice.
Yeah, straight through. There's lots wrong with this though. I mean, the cranks are pointed up to the sky. One.
I don't like the fork, to be honest. Sorry about that.
Do you not? No, I like the fork.
Yeah?
I like that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it looks robust. It screams robustness to me.
I do like the bike in general.
We can't not supernize it.
I know.
Absolutely
it's so
dream.
nice.
It's an absolute dream bike. I love the curve on the seat post as well, seat tube.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Some chunky tyres in there. So
they're
let's
2.4s, 61s.
2.4s, yeah, wicked wheels. It's got red 13 Explorer on it. It's a bear claw.
They say Sai is welcome to come and try it. Maybe he'll be converted by this bike. Didn't want to invite us.
Yeah, I'd like to ride it too.
Yeah, we'd love to.
I don't like adventure gravel bikes. No, would never ride one. Never.
Not interested.
Yeah, not interested at all.
Pedals are super nice.
Yeah, super nice.
Yeah. That was the last one for this week.
All right, there you go. Thanks so much for sending in your bikes. It's always great to see what you're all riding. There's some cracking ones there today. And hope you enjoy the show.
Yeah, right. See you later. Bye.